Hello and welcome to the Embrace Just-in-Time Training webinar with TutorPro. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Claire Revel and I'm the Director and CEO at TutorPro. Today I wanted to share with you how you can revolutionize your training program and simplify the learning curve in any software application. We understand that not everyone feels that they need training, and that can be frustrating. Rolling out new applications can cause challenges and leave employees feeling overwhelmed. Onboarding new staff can be timely, and implementing a seamless process is vital. The TutorPro solutions provide targeted training in any application, where and when employees need it. So no longer do they need to leave their workflow, massively reducing help desk calls. No longer do they need to feel frustrated, impatient, or disengaged. This results in user-friendly, pain-free learning. There's no complex implementation, and with increased user adoption, productivity will soar. So are you ready to embrace just-in-time training? Well, let's dive in and I can show you how. Firstly, we'll take a look from an end user's perspective, starting with new hire induction programs. Typically, businesses will send out an array of emails with links to various policies, processes, and mandatory learning such as security awareness and GDPR. With TutorPro Athena, you can make all of this information available on day one when they log into their PC. So this is the Athena client in the corner of my screen. I've pinned it for today to ensure that it remains on screen. There are various configuration options, and you can customize the look and feel to match your company's brand. Here we have a welcome message letting the new employee know where their induction training is happening. We also have a couple of policy guides. If I launch one of these, then they'll open for the employee to review. And we also have a link to security awareness training. Anything that I review or access via my Athena client is tracked, and we'll look at the reporting later. So now let's think about how employees work day to day, interacting with various applications, some of which may be installed on their PC and some of which may be web-based. What happens when your employees log in the morning and they have new and changing technologies? Perhaps you're scheduling classroom-based training or virtual webinars. Maybe you're making resources available in a learning management system. Or do they access the available resources via SharePoint? Do your employees really know where to find that help and support that they need in the moment of need? TutorPro's Athena can help overcome this challenge by delivering users exactly what they need and, most importantly, when they need it. So here I'm working in Microsoft Word, and perhaps I don't know how to use the review and collaboration features. I simply click on the Review tab and up pops Athena with the relevant resources. This could be a link to a PDF on the network, a resource that resides in SharePoint. It could be a link to a video on the web, or in this instance, a learning module in the LMS. Any resource, anywhere. This isn't just for Office applications though. If I click on my Start menu, up pops a link to Windows 10 tips and tricks, and this link takes me to a useful website. If I go in and open up Nuance Power PDF, and click on the Edit tab, again, I see the relevant resources here too. Athena works with any application, and soon we'll be bringing web-based support. Another powerful way of embracing this delivery is having messages appear. We've seen a very popular example with our clients when their staff are clicking the Reply All button in Outlook, and a message pops up with, do you need to reply to all? A great reminder, it's simple and to the point. You can consolidate all of your resources, streamline the onboarding process, and deliver the right resources at the right time without disrupting workflow. Empower users to work smarter. As an end user, I also have the ability to search for information through the Athena client. So if I search for security, all of the relevant resources will be returned for me to access, wherever they may be stored and whatever that resource may be. Also in development at the moment, we have an optional Office add-in, which will include the search feature there as well. Modern learners expect information to be available at their fingertips, and that includes in the workplace. So now is the time to embrace just-in-time training, change the way you manage information delivery, and identify efficiencies. As a business, when you consider how to provide training across various departments, it's not just about the delivery mechanism though. It's about the interaction and the engagement that you offer. TutorPro has a unique content creation tool, Live Content Studio, which has become a real game changer in the L&D industry. With traditional e-learning, your users may be used to watching a video or interacting with simulations, but when they launch live content, they're going to complete the task in their application in real time. So no videos, no simulations. Whilst in Word here, if I click the Review tab again and launch the Track Changes module, which is an example of live content, when the content launches, the instruction is going to sit on top of the Word document. The content provides guidance and step-by-step instructions in real time. With this live walkthrough, there's also balloon tips, which will pop up just with our Review tab there, which will reduce the room for error. And you'll notice that the live content is automatically proceeding with the user when they complete the correct step. And once the user completes the module, they've learned how to complete the task in hand, and they can continue with what they need to do. So in this instance, we can mark up our document and Track Changes is turned on. Just like Athena, Live Content Studio isn't just for Office applications. So as an end user, if I use my Athena search to look for help changing my availability status in Teams, for example, I can search status and I'm presented with the learning module that I need. If I jump into Teams, this short targeted module is going to guide me through the steps, just like we saw with the Track Changes module. It's quick and simple. It saves me calling the help desk or interrupting a coworker. So this unique concept of training truly increases my efficiency and productivity. Live content can be used in any application installed in a Windows environment, and live content already has the web-based support available for any applications that you may have being accessed via a browser. Again, it's about empowering learners to work smarter and keep up with rapid technology changes. You can simplify their experience and make those complex processes straightforward. Ensure your users get the help and support they need when they need it. So creating and delivering this type of content is much easier than you think or may think. So let's take a quick look from an admin point of view. This is Live Content Studio, and we're going to create a short targeted training module in Word for today, and then make that available via Athena. So first up here, we're going to define our properties. We simply name our module, and today we'll show the user how to change their margins and page size in Word. We'll give it a description, and this is shown to the learner when they launch the content. So we'll just pop in here as an example. And then we set our objectives, simply bullet pointing what's covered in this module. Next, we need to capture the steps. So that simply means the person creating this training module needs to complete the task, the workflow you're looking to teach. So we click Capture Steps, and we can open up Word. We choose Layout and Margins, and we're going to go for narrow. You can obviously give them the flexibility, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And we choose size and A4. You'll notice in our capture window that the application word has been recognized, and the steps, the controls that you've captured are listed. You can even add alternatives to ensure that your users can use keyboard shortcuts or an alternative method to your preferred. You're not restricted either to one application. You can create a training module or an assessment that uses multiple applications. For example, open up a document from SharePoint, make some changes and save as a new version, and then email using Outlook to a colleague. So once we've done, we can click Done here. And now we need to write up the script. So these are the instructions that you want displayed to the learner. You can use the Insert Variable option to pick up the name, and then we'll also use the description that we defined in our properties to save us having to retype those. So that's the initial instruction that's going to be displayed to the user. Then as we move forward, we simply add a new instruction for each step the user needs to take. Navigate to the Layout tab and choose the Margins option. We've captured narrow, so we'll be specific, but you can, of course, give them flexibility on the options that they want to choose. Then choose size and A4. And as you see, I'm keeping it very basic, but you can provide the user with some useful information on the features here and best practices. You have the option to change the styles and formatting. You can customize the colors and change the position of the instruction if needed to ensure that it doesn't appear in front of the area that the user is working in within the application. The Associated Learning tab is one of the features available if you're looking to create assessments. This allows you to map your learning modules to the assessment workflow, providing learners immediate access to the right training to close any knowledge gaps. You can also add audio if required, as well as multimedia and form instructions. So let's go ahead and preview our module and see how it looks. We're presented with our welcome instruction, and we can click Next. We continue following the steps as instructed. And we're finished. Excellent. So my content's working as I'd like, but now I want to add balloon tips. Simples, as we say. Select the Layout tab in the list, and then we choose Balloon Tip. When we preview again, we see that the balloon tip is going to automatically appear. And if I move my window around, it doesn't matter. Live Content Studio is so intuitive. It knows exactly where the Layout tab is. Once you're happy with your content, then we can simply go and choose a preferred publishing option and share that with your users. If you have an LMS, whether you're using the TutorPro LMS or another LMS, you can choose AICC or SCORM. As we want to demonstrate this today with Athena, we're going to choose HTML. When you package as HTML, it's a standalone file, and that can be saved anywhere on the network and can be launched just like a PDF. Even though I've created a very simple example today, you can see that creating this type of content really is quick and simple. There's no screenshots to capture, no detailed setup you need to put in place, and the content itself is long-lasting. As technology is constantly changing, the interface of applications is also ever-changing. And with live content, there's no need to recreate modules just because a new menu item is added for a new feature, for example. So now that we have our module created, we're going to jump into the Athena Manager tool and deploy our new content to the Athena client so that users can access it. We import our content from the network location that we saved it on. Okay, so I saved it to my local environment, but you would need to save to a location that users can read from. Once imported, it appears in the content store, and Athena doesn't actually host the content itself. So we just reference the URL, the location where it's stored. You can add resources from any network location into here, and you can also import resources from the TutorPro LMS and from SharePoint. Once the content is in the content store, we simply define where we want the content to show for users. So we'll click Capture and we'll choose Layout. Now we need to go and connect the two. So we find our training module in our content store, or the resource that we need, and then we drag that across to the Layout tab that we captured a moment ago. Now when we preview, we open up Word and we click Layout, and up pops Athena, and we can go ahead and launch our module. And just like we saw from when we previewed the module when we were creating the content, the instructions provide the guidance needed and the balloon tips appear, and we can complete the task in real time. Before we finish for today, I wanted to navigate back into the Athena Manager and show you a couple of other areas, as well as associated content, and demonstrated from the user perspective earlier. You can also add links to websites simply by right-clicking and choosing Add Link. And we can also do the same for messages if you wish to have those appear. Athena does sync with Active Directory, offering the ability to define who in the organization sees which resources. Athena is designed to be relevant to the job role. You can customize the icons that appear in the Athena client, and you have the option to easily change the Athena branding. There are a selection of reports available, so you can see here that the usage of Athena, where employees are leveraging it most and in which applications. And if required, you can filter the data too. And lastly, as well as the charts, we provide you with access to the raw data, so you can see exactly what each employee has been doing, and that includes what they've been searching for. So you can see that we search track changes, and then we actually launch that track changes module as well. Athena and Live Content Studio are available independently of one another, or they can be used together, as we've seen today. So if you're ready to embrace just-in-time training, then we are here to make it easy for you. Thank you for your time today. For further information, please do reach out to us. We'd love the opportunity to work with you and help you overcome those learning and development challenges. And all I have left to say is have a great rest of the day. Thanks once again.